Alright, so we're gonna be talking about, we're gonna, retrace my thoughts. We're gonna be reviewing and discussing, the Khaiza is gonna be, talking about Disney Plus's recently came out in the Christmas time, Hawkeye, bow and arrow man, fucking bland family man with, Robin Hood, right? How many names can we come up with this guy, right? So the series just finished on Disney Plus a few weeks back, before like New Year's, before like Christmas, right? And you know, I want to like do this review. The Khaiza wants to do this review because it is fresh in my mind, right? That yeah, you know, overall, like, I like this Netflix series, you know? It could be very weird, it could be, kind of weird pacing issues, you know? But Hawkeye was definitely a fun series to watch from, like, beginning to end, right? Of course, most of the later parts were, like, in spoilers, you know, so-and-so, shows her face, and so-and-so, meets up with this bad guy, right? But, it was a fun series, and, you know, I do like the characters in this one, albeit, you know, Barton is okay. I definitely like Kate Bishop, who is, like, the main character, but overall, the story was fun, it was quirky, it was humorous. I did like the character interactions. Well, then again, that's what MCU does, but it was a lot of fun just to like watch. And I'll try to keep this review like simple and short because this series was only like 6 episodes, right? It's only like that short comparatively speaking to certain other Disney Plus shows like Cap and Falcon and Winter Soldier, WandaVision, Loki, those types of shows. This one got relatively the short end of the stick. So, but I'll try to like keep it as short as I can possibly can because there's not much like in-depth or length that goes on with like Hawkeye, right? It's like a very short series, so there's not really much to like discuss or go over about, right? It's not like acclaimed or anything. It's just man, dude, bro, family man, just like doing this and that for this and that, and interacts with so and so, right? So now we're getting to like let's just go straight into like spoilers territory, right? So as many have like guessed, or as many have like predicted from like following news tabloids and websites for MCU and whatnot, the main character for Hawkeye is Kate Bishop, who in reference is a famous character in the Marvel Comics. She is a protege, a student of Hawkeye, right? Who by this time has like was a Avenger, came to retirement, came out of retirement, then back into like Hawkeye. He became like the Ronin, which is like a badass like Batman version of fucking Hawkeye in Infinity War that was introduced to us. He was just like going around killing like Yakuza members and like just like going with the way of the sword until he had to come back by Black Widow, who died at this moment, who died during this time, right? But it focuses around like Kate Bishop and to an extent Hawkeye. So Kate Bishop is like this girl who grew up under like a pish posh like family, lives with her mom, amen. Attends like swinger parties, not swinger, is it fabulous bougie parties, you know, shit like that. She is no stranger to the bow. She knows like karate and stuff like that. Her father died during the Avengers 1 invasion of the Chitauri, and has been living with her mom. She grew up learning like karate. She learned how to use a bow in her like young life. She saw during the invasion, saw like Hawkeye fighting the Chitauri in that like iconic building where he like jumps down and then shoots like an arrow from like the falling position, right? So that's where she got inspired to become like the Hawkeye, the next Hawkeye, right? And then we get introduced to like characters like Jack and Jack's like other like friendly mentor who is like an old man, right? For Kate Bishop's like character, right? She's a very like quirky, very weird like girl, because of like, you know, incidents around. Like she grew up under like under a single mom, but now has found a newlywed with by the name of like Jack Ducasse. He's like this like comical fucking like fugly looking mustachio motherfucker. Found love with Kate Bishop's mom, Eleanor, right? And one night in a schwanker like party, right? Well, Kate Bishop doesn't like new marriages because, yeah, it makes sense because it's like stems from real world practices, like, you know, how when you lose like a loved one in your family, like if you lost a mom or if you lost a dad, right, you start to harbor like feelings of like contempt if like your mom or dad who is alive starts to seek out like significant others. It definitely has that resentment there. Like I like that how they like tackled that because, you know, it's like a known feeling, like our dad or our mom is the way they are. They can never be replaced. And when you feel like a stranger, a total new stranger is like coming in, you start to feel like your zone has been threatened. Your family has been threatened by this random stranger, right? So the feeling is there, right? So one night, Kate goes to like a illicit auction, and one of the auction items is Hawkeye's Ronin outfit. And then trouble occurs when like these are my favorite characters, right? They are a bunch of like red sweatshop gang members called what was it? The Movers? I think it was like Movers. They all like dressed in like red sweaties and hoodies and whatnot. Their company front tag is like trust the bro. So every one of them just like they're like a Russian like mafia, and they say like bro. It's so fucking stupid but funny at the same time. But anyway, they burst into the auction and collect the Ronin outfits and the Ronin sword, but Kate Bishop put on that outfit to like hide her identity and stave off like the Russian mafia, and in doing so, you know, protects a dog named Lucky, who is one eye blind, a golden retriever, very cute. Then encounters Hawkeye, who sees the news and apprehends her, but Hawkeye doesn't like trust her because, you know, the past is like caught up to Hawkeye. He's trying to be like a family man, tries to get away from like trouble, but trouble comes back to him always because that's like the hero's life. And then they'll encounter a villain by the name of Maya Lopez, and Maya Lopez is another like sort of like feelsy thing because Maya Lopez is a deaf, right? She's not a... Oh no, she's a mute. She's a deaf mute, right? She can't speak and she can't like hear. She can only rely on her eyes, and the only way she can like communicate is through like ASL, American Sign Language, right? So it's cute that like how MCU like shows off characters like upbringings, right? How they like grew up under like this hardship and under that hardship. Everybody has difficulties, and to clear no exception, it is with Maya, because she grew up as like a total fucking stranger because of her mutism and fucking deafness, right? And they just show her off in like in a good light, which is very, very spiritually awesome, right? Like I like that type of shit. I always love that, just to like show the very very gray matter of our American society, right? that we can't all speak English. We can't all speak or hear, you know. Some of us have like defects, and and even though we have the defects, we are born with them, right? But we can like make them for the better. But with Maya Lopez's shtick is that she grew up under her Native American father. Yeah, like he totally has like the Native American like accents and like feels for him. But then one day, in one night, when Maya becomes like all grown up and like she owns like the she owns like the family business of like the Trusted Bro moving company. She saw her father get murdered by the Ronin, who was active at that time during the 5 years of the blip of the Danos snap. And she swore vengeance on Ronin, whoever is Ronin, and like killed them. Unbeknownst that like she found who she was looking for, and that was Hawkeye, because Hawkeye was Ronin. But she didn't know at the time. And a whole like dilemma ensues between the mafia. Character relationships are tested. Hawkeye and Kate Bishop start to bond. You know, they find unlikely allies at a Ren Fair of all places. At a Ren Fair, develop costumes, develop trick arrows, starts to develop like a kindred bond. Then shit starts to hit the fan when a Black Widow, not ScarJo Black Widow, but Yelena Belova Black Widow, the sister to the ScarJo one, right? Of course, from Black Widow, the movie. And she was assigned to kill Hawkeye, and she states that, like, you know, coming here in New York, first time, she wants to kill Hawkeye, not only for, like, a job, but for personal reasons, because she loves her sister. That's also another feeling, like, sisterly bonds, because of, like, how Black Widow was like set up as like nothing is more important than family, right? That was the thematic tone in Black Widow. She has Hawkeye, don't do that, right? Even though like Hawkeye does say that, like, you know, it wasn't out of like contempt or anything, it was just for like the Soul Stone by Ghost fucking Hugo Weaving Red Skull, a soul for a soul type of bullshit. But Yelena still feels like contempt for Hawkeye because she lost her sister. Her sister was like her world to her. And life for a life, you know, as they say. But Yelena stops. Not to mention the chick threw herself off the damn cliff, right? Which is funny because there was like a deleted scene in Avengers Endgame. Oh, Mikofu, thank you for stopping by my stream the other day. I'm going to work now, but have a great day today. Aw, thank you, Mikofu. Yeah, anything for a homie. Anything for a homie, Mikofu. You are certainly a homie in this channel. So, good luck in work. Good luck with stuff. So, I'll see you like next time. And stuff like that, right? But thank you so much, Makofa, for the chat message. But yeah, there was like a deleted scene that showed off an alternate situation with like the Soulstone shit. After the Hugo Weaving like Soulstone speech, what was it? The Chitauri came to Vormir, ambushed Clint, and Natasha. And what happens is that Natasha still sacrifices herself for the Soul Stone, but they have to like fend off. And Natasha takes some brutal shots from the Chitauri. Like, she's like bleeding. So the only way to like make a soul for a soul is if Natasha jumps off the cliff, right? And that's how Clint gets the Soul Stone. But that was like a deleted scene, so that was like taken off. So it was just like the comical, like, no, I die first. No, you die first. No, I die first. Shit like that. But anyway, Yelena still feels like contempt and spite that like Hawkeye is still roaming around, while Natasha is in the grave in the souls of the heaven. So she gets hired by the one and only Kingpin. Yes, fucking Kingpin, Vincent D'Onofrio, the fucking constipated ass Kingpin from the Marvel's Netflix universe. Somehow he made it back in this game, and a lot of people were like calling shots of like in the second episode, or like in the episode where they were talking about Maya Lopez, and like, oh, who's this guy? Who's the boss they're like talking about? Oh, they're definitely talking about Kingpin. How is this Kingpin? And then until lo and behold, Kingpin got revealed in like in the final episode, and you know, that's Kingpin. The big, like, bulky ass, like, fucking swaggy ass mutant with like indestructible skin and like armor, outside of armor, right? Is in the MCU now. Until like Maya like breaks it off, right? Starts to see the error of her ways. Maybe this is not the way at all, and shoots Kingpin in the eyes. Which, you know, I saw that scene, right? And Kingpin's not dead. Kingpin is not dead, dude. I seen in like in the comics like a short version of Kingpin's like death when Maya shoots Kingpin through the eyes. Kingpin is still alive. He's just gonna be abruptly fucking blinded. He's gonna have some like financial horseshit, some lawyers from up the top or like down below that will fix his eyes. No doubt, without a question, man. But I did like the chemistry that went on with fucking Kate Bishop and what was it, Yelena. Like they got like a sisterly bond. Like they just like talk so like casual and like so friendly, even though Kate and Yelena have very different points of view with Hawkeye, because Kate is like, for Kate, Hawkeye is her hero, and Yelena hates Hawkeye for, you know, Natasha, obviously fucking reason of spite. Until eventually, you know, Yelena calls it off and it's not worth it, even though calls it off even though she was hired to do so. But you know, Hawkeye was a very dear friend to Black Widow, the first Black Widow, and you know, she just walks off, and that's it. Off to be like accept another assignment, or like what was it, release another captive widow by the events of the fucking Black Widow movie, right? And after that, Hawkeye lets Kate Bishop into the Hawkeye family, the Barton family, interacts with the wife, the kids, everybody, you know. And Kate Bishop is a honorary Hawkeye, and kind of, in this case, an Avenger. So, yeah, like, that's like the end of Hawkeye, and well, then again, there's some other stuff, right? The mom was like, Eleanor was in league with Kingpin to make sure that both her and Kate Bishop are safe until, you know, Kate Bishop has to lock away Mom. And comical Jack Ducasse, he was suspected of like murder for his like mentor Armandus, or the old man that was in the auction but later on died in like episode 1. He was suspected of like murder, and Kate Bishop was suspicious of his ass, but he was like a comically good guy in a way, some way, shape, or fashion. But either way, regardless, that's the end of Hawkeye the series, right? And you know, it's a fun series, like I'll give it that. There's some like cute jokes here and there. Hawkeye being like the aged old man that he doesn't want to interact. He has like a fucking like hearing aid to show that from the events of Avengers, he got like some things that happened with his left ear, and he's just an aged old man that just wants to leave trouble out of his goddamn butthole, right? He doesn't want to interact with any trouble at all and just wants to keep with the family. But now, because of certain events with Kate Bishop, like the fucking Ronin armor and stuff like that, right? He tries to like reclaim it back so that no one else gets in trouble until eventually Kate Bishop gets the armor. And just what was it? And gets into trouble for being like a Hawkeye impersonator. Until she proved the mettle of being a Hawkeye, what it means to like be a hero, means being her own hero, and becomes like an honorary Hawkeye. And right? I like it. I like this like growth and development, or like the chemistry between Kate Bishop and Hawkeye, the master and student. The student being more quirky, she like talks a lot, she's really like a fangirl over Hawkeye, and Hawkeye's just being like, oh god damn it, just leave this kid alone. I don't want to interact with this, I don't want to act with this person at all. Stuff like that. It's really comical and jovial. I love it. Very hokey humor. It especially gets funny when like Hawkeye finds like in one episode like the Ronin clothes, and he finds it in a Ren fair. Like, you know, like cosplay like outings where you go to like a Renaissance fair and like they interact like ye old times, like they're actually in there, make believe. He gets it from a Renaissance fair and has to like be a member, even though he's like a trained assassin, he could whoop everybody's ass. But he's like, ah, oh, fuck, man, do I have to do this embarrassing shit in public? That's like the vibe he like gets. He's like a tired old man at this point. He's not a spring chicken like he was in Avengers. But yeah, it was a fun series through and through. I like the characters, I like the surprises at the end, I like the comedy in there, I like the bros a lot more. Oh bro, you're not gonna believe it, bro. Jesus, it's very hokey. I will say that's like, it's better, that I will say, like, in my personal opinion, it's better, even though Hawkeye did come around at a time where another movie was popping in the MCU, and I don't know if I can say his name because, you know, I think everybody knows what I'm talking about, right? Another Marvel movie in December, right? But I think I saw on like Facebook that you can't say his name because it's immediate flack for copyright. So many people are like spoiling that movie on like TikTok or Facebook or Instagram or YouTube that it's not even funny. So I think some of like the higher ups at like Marvel said like, oh, you can't say his name because of copyright. Yeah, like right here. If anybody can like see. This is some like bullshit. This happened just like on the eve cusp of fucking Arachno Boy. It sucks. It fucking sucks. Right? Excuse the dirtiness, right? Excuse the hand swipe fingerprints, but yeah, it's just like, Jesus, dude. Can't talk about no nice things. Nothing nice. But because of that, right, Hawkeye definitely got, like, shafted, because it was, like, in the grand scheme of things, you have Hawkeye versus Arachno Boy. Arachno Boy is gonna win. Everybody's, like, expecting that movie. Everybody's hyped up for Arachno Boy and, Homecoming. Arachno Boy Homecoming, you know? But, you know, I'll still say Hawkeye is a good series, and I love, like, the convenience of fucking, Disney Plus, shits, you know? Like, Mom and I haven't went to a theater ever since, like, fucking Endgame. And we haven't gone to a theater ever since. And honestly, I wouldn't rather have it any other way because, you know, again, COVID is still a menace. COVID is still, like, a pain in the ass. There were talks of, like, me going into, like, going into, like, a theater with Mom, but she's still scared. I'm too skeptical. Who knows which motherfucker is, like, stricken with the COVID positives. positivities, and I can't roll the dice on like either mom or I getting sick from COVID and some motherfucker was not masked up or was like masked or just, you know, shit like that, you know? I just don't want to take a gamble on that just for a movie theater. I'll wait for like a Disney Plus version, please. I'm not going to go through that hassle. You know? But anyway, you know, that's Hawkeye, right? It's a fun series. It's nice. It's cool. It's like a 7 out of 10. Things could have been done a little bit more in terms of like pacing and story wise, but it is a fun series for like the surprises, the twists, the jokey humor, shit like that, right? I love it like through and through. But it is not the greatest. It's not like Falcon and Winter Soldier, or is it like WandaVision? Even though WandaVision can be like loose, but it is very goated, you know? Anyway,